Hey, what's going on, everybody? It is Sully. We are back with a Bat Cove 390 update for Boston Yachts for this one-of-one build here. I want to apologize. Last week with the holiday weekend and ramping up and getting boats ready and out the door, we did not have an update for you, but here you go, guys. We're going to give you the update now as big items are finally starting to roll in. If you guys recall our very first episode of this one, talking about this build, the back storage area was going to get filled with a lot of stuff. The stuff has started to show up. So if we take a look in this box right here, you're going to see that we have an FCI DTS Solo system right here. So this is for water purification. That's getting installed. You can see those tubes right there. This is all part of this. We're going to have a little more info on this install and what all this entails, but that in and of itself as a part of the install that's not small. But we're also, remember, putting a Seakeeper in there. So that is due according to shipping and tracking. That should be here any day now. So we've got to make plans to get all of that stuff installed into the back locker on here. And you can also see as we start to make our way down the boat, this pile that was growing is now starting to finally shrink down in size. You can see we still have our Apple TVs, we still have, Furuno equipment, we've got our PepWave antenna, we've got our FLIR camera, we've got all that stuff, plus a ton of wire, a lot of split loom. We got a lot of stuff going on here for that. So, but that's finally getting a little smaller. So we're going to call that a win here as things are starting to come together. So going to hop on board the boat and let's take you guys back down into this aft storage area where that water purifier and the Seakeeper are going to go. Take a look in here. Like I said, guys, this is going to start filling up fairly quickly in here. So before everything gets installed in there, as I make my way down, we want to make sure we're getting to everything we can in here. So that means taking advantage of the space we have. TJ's already gone ahead and he's made a nice starboard piece to mount accessory black boxes, things like that. So if we take a look in here, you're going to see right there, we have two of our Lumishore modules. We've got our Siren Marine, and then we've got our Xantrex solar charge controller right there. So that's all right there. It's still accessible. We're working with the space that we've got. Obviously, all this wiring is going to get all beaten up, buttoned up, and cleaned up. We just have it all open for right now so we can test things, get everything installed, and make sure everything's going to work before we button it all up and make it nice. So we've got that going on before, like I said, I think outboard there is where that FCI water purifier is going to go. Right here where I am sitting is going to be the Seakeeper installed. I think behind me, actually where I'm sitting here, will be the toolbox area. And yeah, this is all going to get filled up. You can see we've got another Lumishore controller right there for the underwater lights. We've got another one right there. So things are starting to fill up even back here in this space. So as we make our way out of this space, check it out, guys. We went ahead and we are working with new wire here, and we've got custom switches made up on here. Before, these were just blank switches, and you didn't know necessarily which was hatch up, hatch down, or the gunnel lights, or the courtesy lights. So if I now go ahead, because we can use the trigger wire off the Lumishore control box, we can now go ahead and turn on our courtesy lights on and off simply by pressing that switch, and that switch is labeled. So we've done that actually throughout the boat, putting labeled switches on here. Just makes it a little bit easier so anybody else gets on board the boat, they can see what's going on. So same thing here. We have cockpit overhead lights and salon lights and our Sure Shade control. So if we go ahead and hit salon lights, there we go. Our stereo is now starting to come together as well, and that is coming online. So we've got our stereo controls right here. We've got the bulk of our JL audio installed on this boat. We've got a couple things like the sub is not installed there because we still need access for things, but the stereo is online short of that. We've also talked about previously here is this helm area. All this stuff has now been nailed down. We've started making our wire runs for our network for our Furuno as well. We've also gone ahead and done more of the switches with labels right here. We've got our helm light. This is for our helm overhead. We go ahead, we hit that, and our lights come on. And we've done the same thing down here, courtesy lights and cabin lights. We also have the new Fusion 770 stereo going in right there for the mid-cabin area. So got a lot of that going on. And then last but not least, this is still a lot of wires down there, guys, and it still needs to be all buttoned up. But let's take a peek down here into the unassigned space, and you see just everything that's going on. And we still have an electricy to install down here as well. So you guys can see everything is, coming together. We just need to button this all up. So we've got all of that going on there for you. And like I said, we've got the FCI water purifier. We've got the Seakeeper. We've got the electricy. And we've still got to tune up the stereo and get that all dialed in with the laptop. And then she's shipping out, I believe, on the 12th or 13th. She's hitting the road, going over to the yard so that they can get the bottom painted. The varnish work is, I think, more or less done on here. So we're getting closer, guys. Thank you for tuning in. If you want to know anything else about this build, maybe something we haven't covered, leave it down below in the comments. And thanks for tuning in. If you give us a like, follow, subscribe, share, you're going to see a lot of content this weekend as I am in Detroit with Ilmore Marine at the Detroit Grand Prix. So if you got questions about a little more stuff, leave it down below too. And if not, we'll see you guys next week. Peace.